There are many places in the world where donkeys, mules, and horses still play a critical role in the lives of their owners and communities. They're called working equids, and more than 100 million of them labor in fields and villages in countries everywhere. In addition to transportation, families rely on them to plow their fields and carry heavy loads to and from market. They're part of the family, on call 24 hours a day, a four-legged combination of car, tractor, pickup truck, and family pet. Sadly, the vast majority of them live in poor conditions with virtually no veterinary care. These animals and their owners come from villages in and around Tlaxcala, Mexico, in a mountainous region southeast of Mexico City. They're here today because a team of veterinary professionals from all over the world and veterinary students from the University of Mexico have come to treat their animals and teach them how to keep them healthy after they're gone. These surgeons, equine dentists, farriers, saddle and harness makers, research scientists, and nutrition specialists are part of a group called the Equitarian Initiative, all volunteers giving their time and resources free of charge in the hopes of bettering the lives of these animals and their owners. The event is called an Equitarian Workshop.
The Equitarian Workshop is a training ground for veterinarians and caregivers of horses to come together and learn about the special needs of horses in the developing world, horses that are working, so-called working equids, horses, donkeys, and mules.
There's a vast amount of work that needs to be done all around the world, and the more people who start to take an interest and who can put some energy and enthusiasm into finding a solution, the better. And I think the Equitarian Workshop has been one of the initiatives that's trying to give people who would like to do something useful, gives them some opportunity to try and learn something about how you could go about doing that, and think about sustainability, think about those sorts of issues of what's an appropriate thing to do.
It's important because most of the horses of the world have no veterinary care at all, and they're important economically to the families that own them, and there's no way they're going to be delivered veterinary services other than by efforts like this.
You see a variety of problems here, but they're largely centered around problems of nutrition, parasitism, care of the feet and hooves, and wounds from primarily improperly fitting tack.
Well, the ones that stand out the most are the ones with the very bad lesions on the backs, mostly donkeys. But we've worked out a way of using felt so they can actually still work the animal, but the lesions heal up underneath the pack saddle, which is great. It's very different work to what I've been doing in Great Britain. Well, for instance, they just seem to sew these rope head collars on and they never come off. And then, of course, if it's a young horse, the horse just grows into the head collar and it gets tighter and tighter. So we're making lots of these rope head collars, or halters, and they're the simplest thing to make. You need about 6 meters of rope, and they're much more comfortable than the head collars they use themselves.
In addition to introducing food supplements to the animals and helping their owners and caretakers understand how important diet is in keeping their animals healthy, equine dentists apply the tools of their trade to make sure the donkeys, mules, and horses they treat can chew their food properly, all the while explaining to the owners and students what they're doing and why.
What we try to do is we try to balance the mouth, so we try to remove all the abnormal structure that can interfere with the chewing movement and allowing these animals to move the jaw properly. If the animals they can chew properly means they can eat properly, we are improving not only the animals' health, but also the animals' welfare in general terms.
Another critical factor in the health and well-being of working equids is the condition of their feet. These animals can go for months, and in some cases years, without the kind of trimming and shaping that a good farrier can provide. At the Equitarian Workshop, local farriers have the opportunity to learn from visiting practitioners.
Come on, there you go. Halfway. in these areas wherever I go, the foot problems are the biggest problem in working equids because of what they do. So if I can improve the little bit of horses that I do here, the small amount of horses, but if I can continue the training of the farriers or start the training of the personnel here, this is what I want to continue doing. Had this and this on the same plane, I'll be the happiest person in the world.
The interaction of veterinary professionals with local practitioners and students across all specialties broadens their treatment views through observation, discussion, and hands-on experience. That discussion often begins in a classroom setting in which specialists like Dr. Julia Wilson and other professionals offer current thinking on important regional health issues. The experience then continues on site with real patients. For example, visiting equine surgeons perform procedures in the field with basic instruments and sterile technique that many local veterinarians and students have only performed in a clinical setting.
The opportunity of have the hands-on on this equitarian workshop gives me a lot of chance to practice my own skills and also teach them to the students, and also try to teach something to the client, try to help them with how to provide a better care for their animals.
Hopefully, maybe just a little bit of this will rub off on the owners and handlers and a little bit to some of these young veterinary students. But in the end, the goal, and I think we will accomplish that, is an improvement in the overall health and well-being of these animals.
To make a difference in a place like this, you've got to build on what people already know. They've got to be comfortable with what's going to happen so that they can start to feel that they can try something new that they may not have tried before, start to trust people they may not have had much to do with before.
It's great to have this kind of experience because you are not just treating an animal. This experience teaches me that, how to approach and how to speak with the owners and how to make them understand what's the best for them and for the animal.
The most rewarding thing of this work is having the opportunity of see all these vets, young vets and experienced vets, exchanging information and developing their own vision to put this kind of projects to work in other different areas of the world or even of Mexico. Then in that way we can reach more animals in need, but also the main way to reach those animals is by producing vets with the security and the knowledge and the skills to do the best for these animals who are doing the best for their owners.
We hope to be the seeds for many new projects, the expansion of continuing projects, all of which are dedicated to the medical and social and nutritional needs of working equids throughout the world.
I hope with this Equitarian project, students and local vets, they will realize that working equids, they have needs and it can be a good business.
We tend to live in our own little world at home and just carry on with our own little work, and this just widens the horizon slightly. It's just worthwhile, I think.